Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. How's it going? Listen, if you were looking for the site to talk about retirement savings, you are in the right place. Glad to have you. And just keep this in mind if you want to join this community. We will tell you how to do it at the end of this session. So just enjoy and see what you think, okay? So, as we like to do, we want to get started by asking all of you, how are you doing? How are you faring? How is it going? I know everybody's got challenges, and I just want to be someone in your day who asks how you're doing. You know, everybody's busy. Yep, I get that. We all are, but it does take but a second to acknowledge another person. So just want you to know that we are thinking of you and cheering for you and hoping for your success. And just know this is always going to be a positive site. So we hope you join us. So, how's it going for me? Well, pretty well. I have no complaints. And as I like to joke, who'd care about it anyway? Just kidding. But just throwing it out there, everything is good. And one foot in front of the other. It's what we all do, and just that's what I'm doing. And I I was talking to some friends, and the subject of money popped up as it can, and communications with friends or family. So somebody said something, they were joking, I wish I had $1 million, blah blah, you know how we tend to do. And it made me think, when I got back home from our gathering, I go, how much have I made? I don't know the specifics of it. And, I had to guess. And I just took a rough figure, right? I said, how much have I made if I made $50,000 over 20 years? And just doing the math, and do that for yourself, people, because looking at it, it was like, okay, I have made and spent over $1 million. Let that sink in. We all have the ability to make money. It's just, what do we do with it? Okay. And just thinking through the things that money gives us, can do for us. And when you stop and you take a look at all of that, you're like, oh, I've had the ability to do this, but what did I ultimately do for my future with that money, right? So it was like, well, what would have happened if with that $50,000 over 20 years, if I had put away 10% of it? And I went, we've talked about this site before on these segments, nerdwallet.com. I went to that, and I said the 10%, and putting roughly $417 away every month, earning at least 7%, and just seeing what that will come up to. Folks, you know what? Drum roll, please. It came to 1,106,000 and change. And when you look at what we have the ability to do as earners, and whether we're doing it or not, we have that ability, and we need to be doing it, right? Because you need to take care of not only today, having fun, having a good time, but you got to take care of tomorrow, because if you're not doing it, who is? We looked at this before, and Social Security was never created to take over our earnings. Okay, it was made to help, but it was never to be the single source of income for you. And I don't know if you've done this. I was talking to someone at a party not too long ago and talking about the statements that I get every year. And I don't know how they began. I don't know if it's automatically that they come to you when you hit 50 or if you have to go looking for them. But I'm doing this from memory. Maybe SSA for the Social Security Administration.gov, SSA.gov. And I asked for that information. Like I said, I don't remember if it came automatically or if I had to go to them. But consider that for yourself. Because when I pulled it up and I looked at the amount that I can expect to receive, whether I take it at 62, 67, or I think the oldest is 70 or 7.5, not quite sure. But in any case, if I took that money at one of those ages, I'm looking at that amount, that doesn't cover what I'm doing right now. And so many people say, how much do you need in retirement? And that's going to differ for all of us. I have well-to-do friends who can't get by on $100,000 a year. Me, I'd be doing the yippee skippy, right? So, figure out what your current expenses are. And remember, expenses go up all the time, right? Nothing remains the same. So once I did that, I had an idea of how much I will need in retirement. So luckily for me, fortunate for me, and this isn't true for everybody, but I am part of the generation, the three-legged stool. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before, but what that means is Social Security, pension if you have access to it, and then plus whatever you manage to save. So three-legged stool, that is what that means. And so with all three of those that I have access to, it will be decent. I'm not going to get rich off of it, and I'm not supposed to, right? It's how I like to put it is I have bought my way out of the 9 to 5. The money that I have access to and that I've put away for myself, each one of those amounts contributes to me having enough to walk away from work. And there's some people out there who say things like, you're going to work till you drop, and not a good strategy at all. Remember, we might not have the ability to work until whenever. You got to take care, you got to keep in mind, our bodies are, we're going to age differently. And some people will be able to work until 60, 65, 70. Others are just barely hanging on and they're 55. And so you got to keep all that in mind. You don't know what the future holds. And so since you don't know what the future may hold, you better take care of yourself. I'm hopeful, let me put it that way, that you are going to take care of yourself. And if you haven't already done so, please make sure to sign up for the retirement plan that's available at your work site, whether it be that 401k, 403b, or whatever you have access to. You're putting money away. A consistent amount over time is going to get you where you need to be. Because that same $50,000 for 20 years was 1.1 million, and that amount over 40 years, you would have banked and spent over 2 million. And so if you're putting away 10%, you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to be in a much better place to when that day comes to walk away from your job, you have the funds necessary to do that, okay? It's all about slow and steady and just taking care of yourself and your future. And again, I started these sessions because I could never find anybody who could talk to me in a way that made sense at my income. Many of the money managers out there won't even talk to you unless you have $500,000. And I don't, and I'm sure many of you don't. And what do? It's almost like we don't care because you don't make enough. Well, I care. We all need to care, and we need to care for each other. And so I just wanted to share this information. Hopefully, you can get something from it and prepare yourself, the best you can. So I share these, and I'm hoping that you will write and share things that you learn, things that we can all make use of. That, two-way community, two-way street here. So I'll share, but I want to hear from you too. Hopefully, send me a note, thumbs up, whatever works for you. We appreciate it. And every now and again, I throw a recipe out there, my quick and dirty specials, as I like to call them. So somewhere in the last 2 months, so sometime in either October or November, I shared with everybody my 6 ingredient recipe for chili. And it's a recipe that is super easy, super quick. I mean, because, okay, I like good food, but I'm my sisters and I have friends enjoy cooking. I don't. I just want to have good food to eat, and I don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. So as I call it, my quick and dirty chili recipe, 6 ingredients. Check out the past videos and see, because we've got some stuff out there, and we want you to do the best you can with whatever money you have, whatever resources you have. So just want to take care of that and each other. And I've told you that I like to pay cash as much as possible. And whatever change I get back, I put it in my change jar. My sister laughs at me. Don't care. Here she is, my change jar. And every year in December, just before the holidays, I cash this in, and I've got at least $50. And I don't think we've ever had more than 60, but somewhere in that range. And it's all about slow and steady. I do this because it reminds me that every little bit helps. You're like, well, just get rid of that change. Just, throw it in donate it or whatever. Well, that's real money too. And don't forget to take care of yourself. Okay? So we were talking about making sure you had that retirement account set up. And whatever you do, please get that blank sheet of paper where you look at how much you are bringing in every month. Okay? And remember, that should be minus whatever you've already put into your retirement account. So this is your net amount. That's the first line, net. And then the next line, don't skip this one. Don't skip out on yourself. That first line should be pay yourself first. So in my case, I put away money for taxes. I put away money for emergencies. I put away money for, hey, I want to do something fun. Just making sure to have that money available, because we had an expense I wasn't planning for, but that's what you mean by emergency expenses. So my car needs tires, and it didn't make sense to buy one or two. It just, it didn't. So 4 new tires, $600, and luckily I had that money saved, because you don't know what's coming down the pike. So pay yourself first, and just make sure you're putting money aside for the emergencies, the things you're going to spend money on, and just, hey, you just want to have fun. Just make sure to take care of that. And then once you see you've paid yourself first, then what are your other expenses? And if you get to the bottom of it and you run out of money, look at those expenses. Where can you make adjustments? And you can almost always make adjustments. Whether it be your streaming service, whether it be your phone service, what else can you not money? Oh, insurance. I was telling folks one of the episodes somewhere within the last few months, my insurance was going up and up and up. It's like, okay, hold up. This is it's out of hand, and I need to take care of this. So I changed insurance companies and dropped way down. So just look at those expenses and see where are some cost savings that you can find in that, and you almost always can. And if you're struggling with trying to figure out, okay, I'm looking at this, I don't know where I can save. Like I said, communicate with this community. Let us know. Maybe there's something we've experienced, something that we can throw out there and help you. This is, back and forth. Share with us, we share with you. Works best for all of us, right? So as we're getting ready to wrap this up, because I like to keep these, in the 12 to 15 minute range, something like that. You're busy and we just want to be there to help you. As we wrap this up, and if you've enjoyed this, then by all means, subscribe. You see where it says subscribe? So take care of that. What that means is you'll get this in your mailbox when I publish them, and you can read them at your leisure. You can share them with others, and let's just keep building this community, because at some point I'd like to go to businesses and say, here's my site. Here, I have X amount of subscribers. What can you do? What cost saving measures can you offer to us? That is my goal, to do something along those lines. So just, as we get more people, we have essentially more buying power, right? So keep that in mind. So with that, we're going to wind up this episode of Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne, okay? And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you next time, okay? Bye-bye.